All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. You are welcome to this one more time. It is um it is I believe 5:15 in Biafra time. So we will be leaving here immediately when it is 6:15. So we're going to spend 1 hour with you guys. So wherever you're watching from, share the video and let others know that we have come to analyze some informations of some of the trendings that has been there in the public domain. And then it is quite important for us to understand that there has been a lot of uh, observation that I have made. Those observations that I made mostly with Nigerian media houses, because if you always listen to Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast, we always talk about Nigerian media houses because the Nigerian media houses are basically doing a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. And I cannot fathom or I cannot understand exactly, what is the reason why they do what they do, especially in reporting news that does not actually exist. So, but that's by the way, we're coming there. Let's actually reflect on the topic we're going to actually treat this evening, this afternoon, this morning, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome to it. Share the video and invite others to join. We know there has been a lot of trending news. Number one, there was a news about the release of the documents or the case file of 1993 that concerns Nigeria President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and it is a case relating to his drug case or the drug case in 1993 in Chicago, United States. Now there are, what actually prompted me to talk about this issue is that I come across, very dark man trying to analyze the reason behind the release of these case files. The reason why the current United States administration want to release this case file. That's exactly what prompted me to actually, come into this matter. But I can categorically tell you that it is basically not what you might be thinking because he analyzed it based on the antecedent of the United States interference with Nigeria politics and how it ended up and what it brought to Nigeria. So that's the reason why I actually want to basically touch on this issue because before you will touch on this issue, you must be able to know geopolitics and know exactly know the news about geopolitics and everything that is happening around the world politically. If you cannot actually be able to define the status quo or the status of the geopolitics at every point in time, you will not be able to understand this type of news that came out which concerns your president and the release of his case documents in the United States. So now we're going to listen to Very Dark Man's opinion towards that, and then we are also going to touch on the extradition of Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. Just like the news is flying, Simon Ekpa is going to be extradited to Nigeria. We're going to touch on that and see whether or not there is truth to it, or there is possibilities to it, or whether or not there is a conspiracy for the insecurity in Nigeria to actually continue unabated, especially in the southeastern part of Nigeria. I saw this news yesterday evening. I saw it in, I think, premium. It is premium time. And I know that that news, newspaper is basically a non-newspaper and it has a blue tick on Facebook. So that should be say that the news should be authentic, because I saw it on Premium Time and I commented, how authentic is this news? I can't see my comment basically. I don't know if it was removed from that site, because I saw many people commenting and stating their opinion based on the matter of that extradition of Simon Ekpa from Finland to Nigeria. So in that regard, it is imperative for us to understand whether or not the news is accurate or the news is false. And you will not be surprised if the news is accurate. You will not be surprised if the news is false. But let's actually, zoom into the insecurities in Nigeria before we go down to all these things we have mentioned. We're going to talk about them and break them down in a layman terms, in a way that you will be able to understand every aspect of them. Now, number one thing is that the insecurity that is ravaging Nigeria today is basically not being attended to by the federal government. Because if you think about all this while that we hear insecurity in various regions of Nigeria, the government itself is on European tour. He's been touring Europe, because I know that if every government of the world, every president or leaders of the world, immediately when they perceive that there is a threat against their own people in their country, they will cancel every trip that they have actually planned in order to tackle such problems as the first citizen of the country and as the leader of the country. But in this regard, we saw the president of Nigeria touring Europe from France to Britain. From there, he's been touring Europe almost 100 days, touring, while people are being unalived on a daily basis by the terrorists, and the same terrorists are being they are actually being given olive branch and they integrate them into the military. And they expect this insecurity to be tackled or to be solved when the people or the perpetrators of this crime is being integrated into security, apparatus of Nigeria. How can that be? Do you think that those fanatic believers of what they believe that pick up an arm and went into the bush and start unaliving people, do you believe that one day they will change their faith and begin to think like you and I? I don't think so. Because, excuse me, I don't think so. For them to say that these are repentant Boko Haram, these are repentant bandits, before these people were actually called bandits, there is something that they believe in. And that's why they went into the bush and they were not sparing no one. And everybody they came across, they unalived them mercilessly. These are the same people that are being recruited into Nigerian military. Because even most of the youth of Nigeria are not interested in joining Nigerian military. Why? Because there is no hope, no guarantee that they will survive, because Nigerian military is used as a pawn. The same people who will lead in the Nigerian military are the same people who are caught in the act of terrorism. They will be integrated into the same Nigerian military, and they will be the ones leading the ordinary, the people of Nigeria in combat of going to fight their own people in the bush. Does that make sense? It does not make sense, and it will never make sense. Now, Nigeria government of Buhari's administration did this, and it never worked. Because Nigeria is the only place where people do the same thing, hoping that they will get different results, but it has never changed. The result has never changed, but the casualty continued to rise because there has never been a solution to Nigeria problem. Because the people that are actually piloting the affairs of Nigeria has no solution to Nigeria problem. Yet, each and every time you find some Nigerians who are uninformed, who will be giving these leaders accolade on things that they haven't achieved. Buhari administration integrated thousands of Boko Haram into Nigeria army. Most of this Boko Haram was actually deployed into communities of Biafra land, and they were ransacking communities, unaliving people, unabated, and today it is still happening. And now, Tinubu's administration is doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. And at the end of the day, insecurity continues to get worse in Nigeria. This is not about whether or not this president is from your side, whether or not you like the president, whether or not you are actually speaking because it has favored you, because it hasn't favored no one. You think it has favored you because maybe you must have been benefiting from this government and you are actually seeing the insecurity that is actually unaliving innocent people. You will not say anything. So let's actually think about it in this way. Integration of Boko Haram and the Fulani herdsmen or bandits into the Nigeria army is the reason why the rise of insecurity is going unabated. Because these people cannot lead to go and fight and unalive or their own people that they left in the bush to come and join this military. That's why military will never win the war. And this is the reason why this is what Nnamdi Kanu saw, and he decided to create a security operatives who will protect the bushes in Biafra land. And he actually introduced Eastern Security Network outfit. And those people were doing a marvelous job until Nigeria decided that they do not want to fight insecurity because they know that they have no political will to fight insecurity that is actually unaliving people on a daily basis, unabated. And the governors of the states, they are not willing to fight insecurity. The best thing they will do for you is to come out and cry in front of the camera, crying, insecurity is actually destroying our state. Insecurity, this insecurity. They have no political will to save you from that mess of that insecurity because they are actually not there for you. They are there for themselves. And those who support their activities believing that it is about let us embezzle money. After embezzling money, insecurity will never allow you to enjoy the money you are embezzling from the nation coffers. So now, the insecurity made Nnamdi Kanu because the governors were not coming to the party. They have no solution to the insecurity in the Biafra land. He introduced Eastern Security Network to safeguard his people, and they were very, very reliable. They were very, very efficient in the job of securing our bushes from banditry, from bandit invasion. Immediately when they saw that Nnamdi Kanu's tactics was working, they made every move to make sure that they apprehend him so that the organization will destroy, that our bush will be actually, vulnerable to the invasion of what they have planned for across Nigeria. And that has been what they have done. Now, eventually, they saw that they took Nnamdi Kanu out, and then everybody was standing solidly behind him. In his absence, they introduced a faction called Autopilot. From that faction they introduced called Autopilot, that faction now decided to infiltrate that security outfit created by Nnamdi Kanu just to make sure that the bushes in Biafra land becomes vulnerable for these bandits to invade them and continue to ransack our land, making sure that the farmers do not breathe, making sure that your land cannot produce what you are going to consume, making sure that you are dependent on the people on importing and food from other states in Nigeria, especially from the northern state of Nigeria, just because they want you not to be, independent, not to be safe. Because when you are independent, when you are safe, you will think like a human being. Because each and every time we continue to talk about insecurity, we will not actually see the bigger picture. How these leaders are embezzling and they actually looting the nation coffers to zero, because it's all about insecurity. We need to pay attention to insecurity discussion and not pay attention to monetary policies that are being implemented on a daily basis, cutting government's expenditure. And where does this money goes? No one knows. No one knows. It's been 2 years. The current administration has been in the office. Where does all this monetary policy, the money realized, or the economy that this monetary policy is supposed to be stimulating, and then the subsidy removal, cutting government expenditure, where are all those money going? Do we have healthcare system yet? The answer is no. Do we have infrastructural development? The answer is no. So now there is nothing. So we need to continue to talk about insecurity each and every time. The more you talk about insecurity, the more inflation will be on the rise. When inflation rises, the more there is options of introducing more monetary policy. In the name that we want to stimulate the economy, in the name we want to fight inflation, the more the government is actually getting more tax from you, individuals, direct and indirect tax. What will they do with the money? The answer is that you don't know. There is no healthcare system that will cater for the poor people in Nigeria, that you will have issue right now and you run into this hospital and they say it is government hospital and you don't have money. They give you like 3-star, 3-star care. Maybe they will say you will pay instrumentally or you will pay later, or whether or not you have money, you have access to quality medical care. That is what every other nation that does not have what Nigeria has do for their citizens. That's what, when you see a leader climbing into the position of leadership, and when you see them and you know that they are working, these are areas they're supposed to be prioritizing: healthcare and security. Healthcare and security, then infrastructural development, and now we go to education system. Every other thing they should be actually going into it one after another. But healthcare, security, infrastructure is non-negotiable. But for any leader who is committed to make sure that take their country forward, where are those things? For those of you who will come and tell us that the current administration is doing something, let's support this current administration. They're going to do something. They've been in the office for 24 months and we haven't seen any change. Insecurity is getting worse. Healthcare is dilapidated. Nothing is actually changed. So which area is he doing it? Just because you might say it is our people, it's our turn, that's why you will not see those things, because you believe that it is your turn who will put food on your table. No, because it is your hometown boy it is your tribal man that's in the presidency. Therefore, we will support them blindly. That has been the problem of Nigeria, tribalism. And since this tribalism has become the limitation in the Nigeria and the demise of the Nigeria, hence Nnamdi Kanu rose up to say, let us divide it so that everybody will go and tribalize their own tribe and do their own, and focus on their own tribe to curb this tribalism. Nnamdi Kanu was seen as an enemy to the state. Nnamdi Kanu was seen as a problem to Nigeria state. But the same problem that gave rise to somebody like Nnamdi Kanu still persists. Why? Because you see a problem at all times. You don't actually want to accept the easiest solution to tackle this problem. You just see the problem, but you don't know the solution. And as long as you see that problem, you will never ever have a good national, or you will never have a share of the national cake, because the problem is always being talked about as if the government will prioritize the problem. It makes you forget the primary obligations of the government, the primary duties that the government is supposed to actually deliver to you. It makes you forget. 4 years will go. The next thing, 8 years go. The next government goes. The one will pack all the money that they have embezzled and leave office. No one is going to call them to account. Just like you have seen, the current administration did not call the previous administration to account for what they have done. No. But he actually made mention from the beginning of his tenure that there is no money left in the pocket of Nigeria. Where did those money go? The previous administration was not called to account. So that is actually an infectious disease that will continue to communicate. That's exactly what you get in a country like Nigeria, where you talk about insecurity. Each and every administration that comes up, it is all about insecurity. It is not about prosperous nation. It is not about building infrastructure. It is not about building healthcare system. It is all about insecurity. Who is going to be there to fight insecurity? There is no one. The more you are talking about it, the more time flies. Why do you think they will not integrate bandits and Boko Haram into your military so that the insecurity will consistently continue unabated? That they may channel your attention towards insecurity whilst the nation coffers is being looted to zero. That's exactly what they've been able to do. And that's why people like Nnamdi Kanu, they don't want to release him, because they know he will be able to simulate your mind to see the bigger picture. Nigeria knows what they are doing. Changing judge from one court to another court, from high court to Supreme Court, from Supreme Court to back to high court. That is crazy. Violation of human rights. Working against the constitution of Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu's actually, case, if it is handled by according to or in line with the constitution of the nation, Nnamdi Kanu was supposed to be released long time ago with compensation for the sake of violation of his rights, which is stipulated in 1999 constitution. But who will do that? There is no law and order. That's why your president will leave Nigeria. All you will see him in the news waving at you from the private jet, waving at you. No one will know what he goes out there for. No president leave a country without informing duly to the nation that he is going and what he's going to do. No president does that, except president of Nigeria. Many of you might be wondering why is it that it looks like President of Nigeria does not go for a medical checkup abroad? You not use your brain. If you think that he has never been reported, a president is going for medical care. I know, I guess you haven't seen that news. You don't see it often, like you saw it in previous administration. The reason why you cannot see that is because you campaign with the health status of the president, which is Baba Weno Weli de Shate Milokon. Now, why do you think he will report to you that he is going for medical checkup? Because you will basically say that this is how exactly the reason why we talked about his health. Therefore, every trip that he go for in Europe is about business. Even if he goes for medical care, he will name it business. He doesn't own you. He doesn't owe you any explanation because you are nothing. You are seen as a garbage. Do you think they care? They don't give a fuck about you. So one thing you should understand is that these people that we are talking about, they don't like you. They don't care about you. If you believe or if you continue to believe, no, it is our Baba, it is from a Yoruba man, a Yoruba land, it is our turn, dude, you will continue to give rise or give room or support, downfall of the country that you claim you believe in, one Nigeria. It is a demise to that nation you claim it is one Nigeria. President has been traveling from one European country to the other without you knowing exactly why is he touring European country. The last news I read was that I've been leading Nigeria well from Europe. That's the last news I read. I know he returned yesterday. I saw he returned yesterday. So upon all the insecurity we are seeing, he's touring Europe. For what? After touring Europe, there will be nothing that will come out of it. You will believe it is time. Time will tell. He has done this, he has done that. The time they actually established Iguacha refinery, I knew, and I said it in one of my broadcasts, that there is something that is going to happen in that area. There is a reason for establishing that Iguacha refinery. I knew that there is something they are planning for Port Harcourt. And that is state of emergency that you saw. How do you think things are going to work? Do you think the refinery will be working perfectly well under state of emergency? The answer is no. The answer So the answer is no. That is exactly what you see. The more you look, the less you see. That's what they will continue to do to you. He's a good president. He has opened Iguacha seaport, Iguacha refinery. And Iguacha becomes now a state of emergency. A state where there is no peace, political battle all over the place. Look at that. Now, politics you see, it's not meant, especially politics in Africa, it's not meant to cater for the poor. It is only meant to cater for those who play the politics or those who are in the political space. If they want, they include their friends. That is politics in Africa. This is like a game of football where you will be supporting a particular team. You go to stadium to watch a football match and you will see them losing each and every time. You will still have hope. Each and every time you take out money to go and support this team, at the end of the day, they break your heart, they lose. And you will believe that one day they will win. And remember, whether they win or lose, their salary will be paid full. The players, their salaries will be paid full. So they don't care about you. Whether they win or lose, it is a win for their pockets. The same thing politics in Africa plays with your emotion. This man, this person is going to do it better. Let's support him. Let's support him. Whether you support him or not, they will be there. At the end of the day, they will lose. Break your heart. After breaking your heart, then they will still win for themselves. It will never be a lose for them. That is politics in Africa. And if you want to get it right, remove emotion and actually face the reality. You see what is happening in Burkina Faso? Chad has joined the wagon. They have realized that no, this is a way to liberate our people, because the kingdom of God suffers violence, but the violent people take it by force. That is exactly what Burkina Faso did. They took they took it onto themselves. This is our country. This is our land. This is our resources. We cannot continue to allow external influence to come and be dictating for us on what we should do, on how we should actually handle our businesses back home. Yet, you see, they are trying everything they will to bring that young man down. But the truth of the matter is that the young man, is a good strategic person. And he's a good chess player. Is a master in chess. So he has a good strategy. Now look at some of your presidents in that you've been voting for across Africa. How many of them know how to move a ball or set a chess table? Game of strategy. None of them, or maybe few of them. If some of them that knows might not be given the opportunity to lead, because they are master of strategies. That is exactly what is happening. The limitation you are facing the master. You are at the game, playing a game of chess with masters that have mastered the game. You are actually a novice in the game. The day you master the game, the day you master the strategy, is the day you will want to break free and know that you cannot actually play with the master and expect to win. All you need to do is separate yourself from the master and be independent. That's exactly how you win. So now he was able to separate himself, and now he is now strategizing on his own. How many African countries has ever win? None. But he is winning. We are seeing them winning. So look at them. Do you think that those who are placed there through corner way will come and give you a good strategy that will make you win? Now, this now boils down to the same thing Very Dark Man was saying about the release of this, case file of 1993. The release of those case file of 1993 by the Chicago State or by American on your president. So this now boils down to what he says. He said, Very Dark Man said that you should, I will play his video so that you will listen to it and to understand exactly what he was saying. Now, we will now analyze whether or not what he is actually, his opinion is actually in line with what is playing out there. Because one thing is that that is exactly what might be playing with Very Dark Man, or what he might be sent to say. Those two things are involved. I don't want to basically accuse anybody, but that's exactly what happens when a bee bites you. When you see a tick fly or tortoise fly, you will run away from it. That's exactly what's happening. Because 2015, we saw what happened between the incumbent president of Nigeria under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who under him Nigeria recorded the fastest growing economy in Africa, which under him inflation rate was less than 9% or less than 11%, to be politically correct, less than 11% inflation rate. Borrowing was less than $100 million, $100 billion borrowing. Petrol price was less than 200. Dollar rate was less than 300. Exchange rate on dollar was less than 300 during Goodluck Jonathan's regime. Now let's see the kicker. Obama now stepped in because they had to strategize. Because I always say it is a game of chase. The master of strategy wins. They had to now bring in insecurity through Buhari's admin, through Buhari. And Buhari made it open in a public domain. I will make your position ungovernable. Boko Haram, from one place to another, they kidnap Chibok girls. Are you connecting the dots? They had to kidnap Chibok girls to an extent that, to the extent that Obama's husband, Obama's wife, had to actually use a placard to say, bring back our girls. You see the strategy. She used a placard herself or himself to say, bring back our girls. And she advocated to bring back our girls. After all that, bring back our girls and Obama's interference with Nigeria 2015 election, what happened? What happened? The thing that happened was that Goodluck Jonathan was threatened. The first time an incumbent government to lose election in Nigeria to a newly formed party. Newly formed party. That incumbent was a PDP. Look at the kicker. He lost because Obama interfered. Not only that interfered, he stated that to keep Nigeria one is a tax that must be done. That was Obama's speech in 2015. And Obama made sure that Goodluck Jonathan did not retain the office to continue to grow the economy of Nigeria to the highest, economy in Africa, fastest growing economy in Africa. Now, immediately when they made Goodluck Jonathan chicken out, immediately after he chickened out, Buhari, which people call solution, including religious leaders, step in to say this is a solution man, action man, this man, that man. They had to use religious leaders to also sell their narrative, strategy, the game of strategy, the chess master. So now, all of them predicted against Goodluck Jonathan. He is a bad luck. He is this, he is that. That Buhari is action man, action president. Now, when Buhari win the election, because the reason why he has to win, because they have introduced insecurity that will destroy the good work that Goodluck Jonathan had done in the past. Now, connect the dot to the information that was released prior to the time the new president of the United States came into office. They released an information that U.S. aid was paying money into Boko Haram. That is sponsoring Boko Haram, right? Remember, during that time, it is the same Boko Haram who kidnapped the Chibok girls, and it is the same U.S. president wife or president whatever was using a placard and saying, bring back our girls, right? Look at that. After that, Buhari took power in Nigeria. How was the girls was the girls brought back? Where were the girls that was claimed they were kidnapped? Did you see them bringing them back? Did any of you see the girls being brought back? I don't think so. I don't think any of you saw the girls being brought back. Action man, this man, that man. Who will be the solution of the insecurity in Nigeria? All of them supported him. The North supported him. Alamajiri supported him. Fulani supported him. Everybody supported him. How many times did he stay put in the seat, position of leadership? He spent most of his time touring for medical care. He couldn't establish medical facility that would cater for him. So what did he do? He did nothing. Insecurity worsened because they have created a room for that. Nigeria government we know today is very good at creating a problem that they will never solve prior to the time of campaign. They will create a problem when they go into the office. They will not solve the problem. That has been the strategy they use to get into position because they do godfatherism. And a nation which does godfatherism, if you do not have a good godfather or godfather that knows, the game, you will never win election because godfather is the one who rigs the election. So that is the reason why you saw Buhari had Nigeria. Up until today, you are still suffering from the choices made by Buhari and Obama on your behalf. Now, U.S. aid was indicted for paying money into government Boko Haram, terrorists that has been ransacking Nigeria, destroying life and livelihood, who kidnapped Chibok girls that America cried for, America protested for. They were able to, they were reported that those we are feeding these terrorists money. Make it make sense. Yes, America for you. That's the strategy they use to remove the growing economy and a president who could change the future of the country and bring back the one they will use because they know everybody's they know your own problems, they know your antecedents, they know your corruptions, so they have to place you there because they have no corruption on Goodluck Jonathan. There is no bad record recorded in the antecedent of Goodluck Jonathan. So he couldn't be there. There is nothing to use to blackmail him. There couldn't be anything to be used to blackmail him. So that's why they had to remove him and please put Buhari. So sorry for that. Just like I was saying, I knew there is no voice. Thanks for that. I just paused it because I had to give something. So just like I was saying, they had to remove someone that they don't have any bad record in his antecedents in order to use against him or to use to blackmail him. They have to now bring in someone who will do their bidding. And if you realize, you will recognize that ever since the Buhari's administration, you notice that a lot of things that Nigeria law prohibit began to happen. Things like men who are actually sleeping with their fellow men, they are coming out. They have did a come out party. They are doing come out party during the President Buhari's administration. That's when you see this guy called Bob Risky Bob. He's risking everywhere. No one disturbed him, right? And they are influencing children. And this is exactly one thing that US aid did in Africa, paying people money to recruit children, men on men, women on women. That's what part of the things they did in Africa. So that's why you see today there are too much young men being caught all over the place. And where were you caught? I was doing this with my fellow men. I was doing that with my fellow men. I was doing that with my fellow woman. It was during Buhari's administration that all these things was let into Nigeria. Check the history. That was intolerable in Nigeria constitution and in Nigeria law. But it was tolerated. You people will be wondering what is the reason why someone you call Bobrisky was so, well known and well influential and maybe rich. Because those are the people they will place in front. When children see them, they will be influenced by children. Children will be influenced by them. I want to be like Risky. Therefore, I want to start acting like a woman. Next thing, I will want to be a woman. Next thing, I will want to, be dating other men. That is simulation of the brain. That was during Buhari's administration. All these things happened. Do you know why it happened? Because the man who sponsored him himself is said to be marrying a man. The man who made him to be there is said to be marrying a man. The news is all over the place. That's why I couldn't call him or her. Because they wanted to bring this all over the place. Mugabe rejected it of Zimbabwe, rejected it. He said to that man, come, let me do you first before we will implement it in our land. This is a taboo. Animal does not do that. It is not in the animal kingdom. It never happened in animal kingdom. It is happening in human kingdom. And people are watching it thinking it's a normalcy. It's a normalcy. If your generation continue to follow their fellow men, that is to say, you will be wiped out in due course because you will not be growing. Your population will be dwindling because people who are supposed to be making children are actually looking for where they they because they like the smell of sheep, they have to go, do the thing where they are not supposed to do it. Your population will continue to dwindle. That is the strategy. It is a strategic game that they played, using one stone to kill different birds at the same time, brought it into Nigeria. It is actually now eating deep across Nigeria. This is not a Yoruba problem. This is not Igbo problem. This is not Aboki problem. This is not Fulani problem. It has become problem of everybody in Nigeria. And you didn't see it coming. And you don't see it as a problem because everyone for themselves. That is what Buhari's administration brought to Nigeria through the sponsorship of Obama, support given by Obama, through US aid. Now, look at that. All those things happened. No Obama who came, nobody came to say, "Hey, Nigeria, you are suffering under this administration." No one said about insecurity. Insecurity, Benue State, more than 1 million people has been, and more than, 20,000 community was ransacked. across Nigeria, people were unalive to buy the same terrorists, bandits. No one actually called Buhari to account. No one. But good luck was became a bad luck because he was able to grow the economy, and they installed this, insecurity just to use it to tarnish his image, and he conceded. Now Buhari comes in through the same party, through the same, means. He came in through APC. APC is worse thing that happened to those who believe in one Nigeria. It is worst thing that has happened to you, but you don't know it because you don't follow politics. You just follow politics of stomach. You don't understand politics. Now, Tinubu now came in. We were expecting that he will find a way to actually clear himself based on his antecedents and based on the expectation people have from him, as he claimed it's a Milokon, it's his turn. And at the end of the day, we knew how he got into the position of power. People would be expecting him to do things that is actually not in the tradition of how the previous person did it. But he came, he removed subsidy. People started crying. Dollar rate climbed from 300 of Goodluck Jonathan to 700 of Buhari or 500 of Buhari to now 1,000. Each and every person that comes in, the situation deteriorates. Now, you've been hoping since 1999 it will be good. It will be good. Each and every person that comes in, the situation gets worse. Now everything went high. Inflation rate went up to 23, 21%. Now, cost of living high, exchange rate higher, petrol price high, subsidy removed. Where is that money removed from subsidy actually invested? No one knows. Now, he's been touring. No one knows what he's touring for. Europe. Now, all of a sudden, the document is about to be released. Was reported that the court ruled to release it. Remember that after election, Peter Obi and Atiku under PDP, Peter Obi under Labour Party, they went to the United States, actually tried to subpoena for them to actually indict President Tinubu on that occasion of his antecedent in Chicago, United States, 1993. They swept it under the carpet. They never wanted to release these documents. Now, why? That is the reason why we will say, why now? Many of you will say, why now? And I will answer you, why now? And that is exactly the reason why people like Very Dark Man will come to tell you that it is 2015 repeating itself. That's why he will tell you it is 2015 repeating itself. But let's find out whether or not it is 2015 repeating itself. Let's find out. But before we find out that, let us play what Very Dark Man has to say so that we will analyze it and tell you exactly what's going on. And you take it to the bank, you cash out. Look at it. Listen to Very Dark Man.
Have been trending since yesterday. It says U.S. court has ruled that FBI and anti-drug agencies should no longer withhold information regarding Tinubu's drug-related investigation and ordered its release. Reasons, other details are in the comments. Now, a lot of people are happy about this. But you people are not thinking outside the box, and I don't know why you are excited. First of all, if the U.S. wants to release Tinubu drug cases, they will not tell you. They will just release it. Unless if Tinubu is currently being blackmailed, think about it. If they want to release this information, they will release it. Secondly, why is it now that they are planning to release it? During the election and during when the whole quest for looking for evidence that Tinubu actually dealt in drugs, back then, they refused to release it. Why now? Like I said, More than share the Westerners. If you don't learn anything, more than learn from which happened to Goodluck Jonathan and Barack Obama. Go back, go and look for the video. If you didn't learn anything, learn from that one. Tinubu can be very bad, but understand that the Westerners, they don't want it. They don't want your good. So they just want to release it now because of what? What is their reason for doing it? You think about it. Unless if maybe they decide like maybe Tinubu to get something from us. Maybe Tinubu never concur. So they want cause chaos. Or they want to cause a problem for him. It is the game. They don't like you that much for them to give you something. Even for a joke, a lot of you in this country, sometimes people need to pay attention to how these Westerners work. They just want to wake up, say, okay, yeah, Nigerians, it's time for you people to have the evidence that Tinubu actually deal in drug. I mean, I'm curious to know which pattern Tinubu use and the type of drug where he sell. Whether na Refnon, tramadol, codeine, nicotine, what do they call the other one? Narcotics, cocaine. I'm curious. And the pattern where they sell out, whether I carry out for head, they walk out like tomato and pepper, or whether the chains of the people. I am really curious to know. But then again, I'm more bet the US not going to still release anything. It is a game. It is a game. So don't get overly excited. That's number one. Number two, this junction. If they release an evidence that Tinubu actually dealt in drugs, what next? I'm curious. Should they go remove Tinubu now as president immediately? Or maybe they plan to use that one for next election. Well, now don't forget, because I know now if you stay on something for long, next thing now forget 2027 now a few people will bring them up, but don't pay a large majority of some people for them to stay. It is a game. Don't get so excited about these people. We are talking about the West. The West don't want your progress. They can't do anything for you. They can't favor you. Don't deceive yourself. They don't like you rich. The West don't like you rich. So now, back to the question of sit down and ask yourself, why are they doing it? And why did they not release it? Why are they saying they want to? The US, if they won't release it, you will just get it online. You meet it online. What is all these shenanigans? Think. And Nigerian youth need to understand. Else we might learn, and we might learn the hard way. These people, Tinubu might be a demon, but these people fear them. Fear them. Fear them. Especially Americans. Fear them. No, you don't learn it. You learn the hard way. Don't play.
Okay. Remember, he said it and he never missed his words. He didn't mix his words, and he said it the way everyone will believe it is. That's how he said it. He said it the way everyone will believe it is. But here is the kicker. I don't know if you can still hear me. There is a video I am trying to pick up so that I can play it. I can play it in the screen here. But I don't know why I can't pick it up to play it on the screen. It's on my phone here. I'm trying to bring it to the screen. But before I look for that video again, hear this, properly. Very Dark Man's what he said about this, situation. Believe me, he never mix his words, and he said it the way it is. No emotional attachment in it, but understanding what's going on around the world. You will know that what is happening in the United States itself will show you that whatever they're telling you that they are going to release the issue of they are going to release the documents or case files, It has nothing to do with American interest. For those of you who don't understand, it has nothing to do with American interest. Tinubu himself, that is that we are talking about, he hasn't done anything for Nigeria that will warrant the Western world to actually see it and say that this man is going to change Nigeria and is going to now, make decisions that will elevate Nigeria and undermine the policies by the West. No, he hasn't done anything. We haven't seen anything done. Economy is not actually growing like it grew in 2015. Look at that. Inflation rate is still sky high. Dollar exchange rate, not dollar. Exchange rate is still, dude, there is nothing that will get you thinking the way the very dark man was thinking. Now let me tell you exactly what's going on. Donald Trump himself is a president who does not like, immigrants. Mostly immigrants coming from all those countries he called shithole, right? Donald Trump, if it was previous administration doing it, I would believe in what very dark man articulated. But no, what he articulated, it doesn't have anything to do with the present thing that is happening. The reason why Donald Trump called African countries shithole because your leaders are criminals. That's why he did it. And he cannot hide. Had it been he was in power during the time of election, that case file will be released to Labour Party and PDP. Because he is the one who is exposing all the evil activities that has been, done in the United States. The US aid under President Trump's administration, that it was actually exposed of his sponsorship of terrorists and all that. So it is under his administration. Why do you think that releasing of case file of 1993 will be a difficult thing or will be an interest he has for Nigeria or on Nigeria because Tinubu has done something no one has ever done? No. Follow the evidence. Follow the antecedents. Follow the history. One is that US current president does not like president who does not take care of his people. Because he believes that what is making the Western influence hold on you, bringing the holds of the Western influence against your growth is because you have accepted it. That's why it is happening. He believes that you accepted it. That's why it's happening. He doesn't have time for your president who is touring Europe all the time without accounting for it, with the money belonging to all of us. He has no time for that. So there is nothing in correlation with what this guy said. What he said is that he was just talking based on the past, but he needs to well articulate and see exactly what is happening across the world. Donald Trump never spared Europe, he never spared China, never spared anyone. The tariff he gave to China, Europe, and Canada, what are you going to talk about it? You need to follow the evidence. You need to follow the background of the story before you judge. No, he doesn't have any, there is nothing he is targeting. This guy is a guy that wants to expose evil and corruption. This guy is a guy that wants to put America first. This guy is a guy that wants to do anything that will be beneficial for his American people. He doesn't care about you or any other person. And he is willing to deport every of you Nigerians in the US. He's willing to deport all of you and expose all your evil doings, especially the politicians. He is willing to do that. That's what he is doing. It has nothing, there is no emotional, there is nothing attached to releasing of that case file. It has been requested by the people who need it. because election is coming up. And they know that under his administration, they will get they will get the result they're looking for. That's why they requested for it. And they got it. That's why the people who need it requested for it. Look at what is going on. Are you aware? What is this? There are many secrets that has been released, has been actually come to open in the United States. What is Tinubu's 1993 Chicago case? That is my. That is nothing. In the United States, there has been a lot of secret. There has been a lot of secret. Those who unalive Jeff Kennedy, the information was classified over decades. He declassified it. Those who unalived Martin Luther King, the documents has been declassified. What is President Tinubu's drug case in 1993 to declassify or to make it available? Well, what is it? As if it is Nigeria is so important that anything they do, they have interest. We know the people who have interest in Nigeria things. Those are the people who sponsor Boko Haram. How can someone who exposed the channel that was sponsoring terrorists in your country under his administration, you will tell me just because he want to release the information concerning the corruption of your president, that corruption in your president's antecedents, and you are telling me that he has interest in your Nigeria? This is the reason why I say that Nigerians, you don't follow the history. You don't actually, when you want to analyze information, you analyze it emotionally. Yes. When you want to analyze information, that's why you will never become a progressive nation. You will never actually understand what's going on. That's why I made a post, a few days ago that it is all about you understanding geopolitics. Follow the news that you may understand when the world is changing. Under Donald Trump administration, those who actually traffic and molest children in the United States has been exposed. You are aware of that. Under his administration, he said, drill, baby, drill. Climate change, they want to use to set you back, not to participate in the fourth industrial revolution. Using your resources that you have from your ground. They want to build or introduce new technology that you will be chasing after every time you are chasing after new technology. By the time you recover, trying to actually, take advantage of this technology and start developing it yourself, they will introduce something and tell you this is happening, that is happening. The man that said drill, baby, drill, if he followed that route of let's introduce new technology, this is climate change happening, it is not in the benefit of African country. I know that Facebook or YouTube will not love this topic. It will never be in benefit of any African country because you don't even have electricity to come and drive electric cars only, to get rid of fossil fuel. You are basically dependent on fossil fuel to burn generators, to burn fossil fuel in your generator to have electricity. So think about it. Think about it, and make it. Tell yourself whether or not he has interest in this nonsense that doesn't even have any stronghold. And your president, because he came and said that there is nothing new to release because he knew he was guilty. He said there is nothing new to be released. It has been there since 1993. That is the latest news. So, very dark man, you don't know how to hit the target. You don't know how to hit the target because you always in a hurry to come and speak. Sometimes you might be trying to speak something good, but because you're always in a hurry to come and speak to get accolades, it will now make you to not to articulate well. You know, if I was still one Nigerianist, I was going to believe what you said, which is not true. Whether or not you are one Nigerianist or not, you will understand what is happening geopolitically. That this guy have interest for America. He has no interest in your things. Anything crime, he want to actually curb it. He want to solve it. So that's why you hit the wrong target. Tell Nigerians that it's a president who came into position of power. He want to put his people first. So let your president put his people first. Put people first so that all these things, whether or not they want to use it against him, it will never have a stronghold on him. He should do the right thing and stop corruption. Release innocent people that are languishing in prison and actually imprison criminals who are stealing state coffers. That's what you should do as a leader. Then if you were doing all these things, when we see this type of things, we will assume that this is where it is going. But believe me, it is not where it is going. It is about people requesting it, and they are actually making a stride in order to acquire that information, because it is going to be a score, an upcoming election. That's one thing that people don't understand. The oppositions are pushing. You see, Russia is aggressor. Russia is aggressor. Now, you saw what happened between Russia and Ukraine and the president of America. He was disgraced in White House in front of the media in negotiation. Russia is now no longer the aggressor, the problem. It is Ukraine. That's how it is. That's how the world works. Because this administration is actually opposite of what previous party, Democrats, is. This is Republicans. Republicans. Check the meaning of Republicans. You will understand they are opposite of Democrats. Those who promote everything that is wrong in this world. And those who actually try to tell you that we have only two gender, male and female. Do you get it? Who want to bring back order, exposing evil and felonies. But because of your emotion, you will not pick that up and understand exactly what's going on. You will not, except if you are actually defending the government indirectly, blindly, because you are benefiting from the government. Very dark man. That's what I am actually. I'm been wondering. Are you benefiting from the government? What has this government done for Nigeria that will make you think that they want to stop him? Because he's doing great for Nigeria, because he hasn't done anything. It is only government that is doing something, that is curbing inflation, making sure that there is no much borrowing, and then there has been, monetary policies that create money. Where are those money going? Cutting government spending, which is monetary policies, and receiving more tax, simulation economy, and now those monetary policies are not fighting inflation. So what is it targeted to curb? Because there are many decisions that are not actually bringing any result. So what are they bringing? What is bag of rice is in more than 100,000 mark. Bag of rice that was 3,000, 6,000 under Goodluck Jonathan. A bag of rice. So let's begin to tell ourselves the truth. Those who are giving me thumbs down in YouTube, you will give me thumbs down. All you are going to continue to get is that thumbs down, because you believe you are actually sponsoring those in position of power that is actually destroying your future that they will not be part of. And you are giving me thumbs down because I'm speaking. Time will come when you will give me thumbs up. By that time, it will be already late. Because you believe I am speaking against him because I'm not speaking against Tinubu. I don't hate him as an individual. What I'm talking about is bad politics that is being played in Nigeria in general and in the world. That's what I am here to expose. If Tinubu was a good man and mean well for Nigeria, he should call Abubakar Malami and Buhari into account of what they did in the past. He should release Nnamdi Kanu because he was fighting a just cause. If he was a good man. So if you like, do it like this. Do the thumbs down like this. It doesn't bother me. One thing for sure is that if it affects nose, it will affect eyes. If it affects me, it affects you. Whether you are rich, you will be flying an aeroplane, one day you will crash and die. Because you don't want to drive on the road that you supported a present administration that's supposed to do infrastructural development because you support them because they are your tribal men. They are from your tribe. You support them. You'll be flying an aeroplane, one day you crash. Nkagaga. That's it. You supporting, you are supporting corruption because maybe they have, you believe you have potential of getting a political appointment. Those of you who will turn 360 degrees speaking against the evil of Nigeria politics, you believe they will give you political appointment and you start speaking from both sides of your mouth because you don't know how stupid you will sound in public. Most of you don't understand. It's about the money for you. It's about the money and the power you will get at that period of time. Insecurity will continue to scale the shit out of you. It will scare you. It will scare your generation. It will scare everything that you know. Insecurity. Because you will not live in the sky. That's why I love it. One day, all these European nations you depend on, they will kick you. They will deport all of you. Then you will know that let's go there. Let's face that thing that we have supported. It will be good. It will be good. It will be that because you are eating 3-course meal. Forgetting that there are people who cannot afford it because of the bad governance that we have received and the corruption we have received under democracy in Nigeria. Now let's talk about the news peddling about Ekperima. Because the news peddling about Ekperima stated that Ekperima is Simon Ekpa that has been that Finland has accepted the extradition to bring back Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. That is the news that is flying across Nigeria. Premium Time carried it, Vanguard carried it, and BBC carried it in a different way because they weren't sure. So now, let's do fact check on such news. Simon, Finland has accepted Simon Ekpa being extradited into Nigeria. Now, Simon has not gone to court. He will only go to court on June. But the news of Nigeria has it already that the Finland has actually accepted the extradition on Simon Ekpa. Why is the news in Nigeria carrying that? That is something that I don't understand. Are they trying to test the water on how they will bring in security in Biafra land or what? Because they know that there is no real people who love Simon Ekpa. It is only fellow conspirators who love him, who love insecurity. Those are the people who love and support him. So what is it that they are trying to do? Because it hasn't been approved. Number one, let's find out if Nigeria has a extradition treaty with Finland yet. Let's speak it on Google. Google, does Nigeria have extradition treaty with Finland? Okay, this Google is actually deaf. Let me use another Google because this one I spoke to was deaf. I want the Google to speak it to us so that we will know whether or not they have created. Google, does Nigeria have extradition treaty with Finland? Does Nigeria have extradition treaty with Finland? Oh, the network is off. One moment. Google, does Nigeria have bilateral relationship with Finland? Even this Google is deaf too. Does Nigeria have extradition treaty with Finland? Let's see. It doesn't want to say it, but I will read it. Okay, okay. Finland is a party to the 1996 Convention on Extradition between EU member states, as well as the 1995 Convention on Simplified Extradition Procedure between EU. The US and Finland have an extradition treaty signed. I don't see Nigeria here. I don't see Nigeria here. Nigeria has no extradition treaty with Finland. So, why would Finland all of a sudden, because before you actually release an individual to a country, and to a country such as Nigeria, there must be a lot of scrutiny done. If Nigeria has a extradition treaty with Finland, I will say that the news should be accurate. The news should be accurate. But Nigeria has no bilateral relationship with Finland that will, enable them to facilitate the extradition so quickly for you to see what Nnamdi Kanu has been crying about. Everything he's been crying about is actually playing out in the open. Gutter media of Nigeria. Vanguard carried it. Let me show you. But I think they run back to delete it. I read that news from Vanguard, but I checked it again with the same link, but they run out to delete it. Let's see it. Nairaland carried it. Vanguard actually reported the news. Vanguard reported the news. Nairaland carried it. Premium Time was the first one to report it on Facebook. I commented, how authentic is this news? I believe they deleted my own comments. I believe they deleted it. How authentic is this news? That is exactly what you see, the gutter media you see in Nigeria. They carry fake news all over the place. Just give them small money, they will push out the news. It doesn't matter, just because I know that there is a reason for them to push out this news. It's not because they got information that was inaccurate. It cannot be that a media house will push a news that is not confirmed, because a media house should know better that Nigeria has no bilateral relationship with Finland. Therefore, they cannot facilitate the extradition agreement within this short period of time. extradition or bilateral treaty can take up to 6 months to be established. Then we talk about court cases and the agreement to extradite an individual. But now you don't see these things. Now, those news houses that these reputational news houses, those news houses that has a reputation, reported it. Why is that? That could be a decoy to see how people will react, to see what people will say, to see what, just to know whether there will be people who will threaten so that they will know whether Afagaman, because Nigeria is good in bribery. They can bribe officials in Finland and make it possible to know whether what is he going to give us. Is he going to give us more tension in Nigeria? Because what they're looking for, like I said before, is tension, tension, tension. Once you are facing this tension, insecurity, they are looting the coffers of the country while you are actually crying insecurity. You will not cry infrastructure when you are crying insecurity. You will not cry for hospital when you are crying for insecurity. You will not cry for justice system when you are crying for insecurity. You will not cry for any, inflation because you are crying insecurity. That's where your attention will be channeled. They want to know whether those fellow conspirators will begin to give ultimatum. If you bring Simon this, that is exactly what they want to. They want to test the water. That's why they are giving fake news. Simon is only going to court on June. So I'm wondering, where does this come from? I'm not sure. I don't know. That is crazy. Super crazy. Gota media you have. Nnamdi Kanu actually established all these things that you don't see. That is the same reason why he is in the custody and arbitrarily detention, because Nigeria does not want anyone who tell them the truth or who show them the way that will lead them to safety, that will lead them to success. They don't want it. Another reason why I said that Trump's administration have no interest in your Tinubu and in your Nigeria, and it's not because of that that they are releasing the document of Tinubu. I will play that video. I tried to look for that video. I could not find the video, but I am going to play that video to show you that there is a lot of difference between him and every other people you saw ruling the US. It's not because I like him. I don't like him, but I state the fact. So, I state the fact. I wish I could see that video because it is in my on this actually phone. I can't find it, but I will post it. I will make a video of it. I will post it separately so that you will see that he actually admonished past decision of the United States killing of Gaddafi. Donald Trump actually admonished. He spoke against it. So you find this is not, he is not those people who are actually looking for interest selfishly. He wants to put America first. He knows that America has potential to make whatever money they want to make without actually exploiting people's resources. They just need to do, hike their tariffs, do this, remove all these fundings that they are funding, or all these fundings all over the place that they are eating deep. They are using funding to fund you, give you peanuts while they are exploiting you. So if you remove it, bring it back to American economy. American economy will come back to standard instead of depending on resources that is not yours. But you are wasting money all over the place to unalive people to get these resources to do this. He is pro-American and he's a businessman. So he has no interest in your Obama Buhari story, that type of Obama Buhari story. No, he has no interest in such things. And I will play that video. You will see it for yourself. So we're going to be coming back, and we know that Nnamdi Kanu will be going to court, I think on the 29th of this month, and on the 3rd as well of next month. So we're going to follow that court proceedings. I didn't follow the last one because I know it is going to be a hearing and the presentation of their matter. So this time around will be basically judgment being passed. So we're going to see what actually is going to change and how Nigeria is going to handle the situation. But we know that there is no justice system in Nigeria except if they want to prove us wrong that there are still judges who are not biased, who actually work in line with the Nigeria constitution, because any judge who knows constitution of Nigeria knows that Nnamdi Kanu's right has been violated in many ways and should be released with compensation. And secondly, judges that are prolonging this case will actually are those who are uneducated judges. They just wear those gown that they will always wear in order to come into court. You think they know something. They know nothing. They don't know constitution, hence they don't follow it. It is only someone who understands the constitution and what it says that will follow, walk in line with the constitution. If you don't understand what a book says, how can you work with the book? So those judges you see like Binta Nyako, they don't know the Nigerian law. That's why they are doing what they are doing. Regardless of them being politically biased or become political interference, your job come first. Your profession come first. Put your profession first before politics so that you will have a good reputation in that profession when time comes. But most of them, they undermine the constitution. They give justice based on their biased, political interference. That's what happens. But we're going to watch and see what the new judge is going to actually, do with the case of Nnamdi Kanu, which we know that it has gone for so long and his right is being violated on a daily basis. And each and every time he is kept there, his right is being violated according to 1999 Constitution, according to various sections of 1999 Constitution. Nnamdi Kanu's right has been violated left, right, and center. His constitutional right, Nigeria constitutional right, not international constitutional right, because we know they have violated international treaty that governs extradition and the rendition. They have violated it through extraordinary rendition of Nnamdi Kanu. They violated the Geneva's Convention. They are violating it still. So we are talking about local constitution right of Nnamdi Kanu. It's being violated by local judge who's supposed to know this constitution off their head. They are violating his right, believing that many of you will be believing, no, it is Nnamdi Kanu, it's Omibo. Let him be there. You don't know. As long as there is no justice system, you will never hold your government to account. You saw the lady who spoke about inflation, crying that Tinubu is actually terrible president. How the NYSC called and bombarded him with her with calls, threatening her lives, and some of illiterates who are within Nigeria system, who are also suffering, just like every other person, came and start supporting the system that is violating them, that is actually depriving them of their constitutional rights. They're supporting it. Stockholm syndrome. It is real, but people does not know about it. Stockholm syndrome is real, guys. Those are the things that is troubling people whom we see within the media space coming out to do, all sort of rubbish, one rubbish to another, in order to gain, followers or gain, people. You see, of course, I saw another video of Ikenga talking another rubbish. Why is he talking those rubbish? I don't know. What came over him? I don't know. But the worst part of it is that there has been something going on. I think there has been something going on. I see Paul Achebe disgruntled. I see Methuselah disgruntled. The last time I think I also see Achalugo disgruntled. You ask them, what is the reason why of disgruntledness? There is something I want to actually, talk about. It is important that if you are an organization, if there is a concern that is brought up by you know, one of your members, be it floor member or who, don't take it for granted. Because Paul Achebe's disgruntledness could have been avoided, and every other person's disgruntledness should have been avoided if they heard when they were complaining, if the leadership actually hearkened to them when they were complaining about the same Ikenga. Because so many of them, even me myself, at some point, it is just that I don't know how to, I don't like saga. I do it when it is necessary. I'm done. I am actually done with my broadcast. So I'm speaking out of concern that what I see actually going on in social media, because sometimes when I come to social media, I see all these things going on. It will actually discourage me from actually, coming online, because I don't know, that is basically uncalled for. So in that regard, there was a time when everyone was complaining about activities of Ikenga, including me. And each and every time Ikenga comes online, he used the name of DOS to give his own fake news. I don't know where he gets his news from. He used the name of DOS. DOS said, DOS did not say. So at the end of the day, people were complaining, lamenting. This guy, what is he up to? It looks like that complaint was actually like it's a complaint that is falling on top of a stone, pouring water on a stone. It wasn't being adhered to. And then one thing is for sure is that issue of Ikenga, when before he went actually to the left where he is today, it discouraged me. Because the same people, he will always use their name to come and talk about the news that doesn't make sense. The same people, he will use their name to come and give accolade to Enugu State governor for unaliving people and closing their shops. Will be the same people who will want to call me Judge Money to come and take oath from them. No, I said no. I know that this has been going on all over the place. I said no. I don't want. I am waiting for Nnamdi Kanu to come out because of Ikenga. And the same Ikenga, because what I have seen in him and the person who will always back him up. So when you see some people being disgruntled and picking on that issue, that issue basically cut deep. And this issue is not supposed to actually get to this extent if it was tackled from the beginning. There is something we should also understand, that if you are in an organization such as IPOB and you have a concern and it is not listened to, and other people which you know that they are going offline, they are being listened to, you will ask yourself a question. Because I know so many of you might think that those people who are disgruntled today is because they are biased or Nigeria has bought them over. No, I just chose not to actually come online and start talking about all these things. But if the leadership is listening, they should understand that when one of the members have a concern, make sure you investigate it and tackle it duly, because we are not building to go into a Nigeria that we are building to come out of. We are building to have a new nation. And that is one thing. Ikenga actually showed us that he is going towards this direction. Yet he continued to make use of the name of the leadership. And leadership did not come out vehemently to actually admonish such behavior. Many people got disgruntled and discouraged due to that. I am one of them. But I didn't want to come out to come and start speaking about it. But I thought, there is another video of him I saw today. And I saw a program made by Paul Achebe the other day. I was listening to it. I didn't want to contribute. When you listen to, you should also be able to understand what's going on. Solving issue. There is something called prevention is better than cure. And all hope is not lost. Our goal and target is to call the pilot of this plane or the captain of this ship, to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is released. I know that everything will fall into place. Whoever that is angry, relax. We don't need to actually, we know exactly what's going on, but let us come together and continue, because the enemy will love what is going on. They will be thinking that we are being defeated. No, we are not being defeated. They can never defeat us. Let's leave all these things aside. We have one man that all of us called and followed, and he established that leadership. We will call that leadership out where need be, but we shouldn't actually make the enemy think that they are achieving their goals. They are not. They can never. Even though as a human being, sometimes I feel so bad. I feel like sometimes I don't want to come online because I don't know, like it is actually something that will bring, it is discouraging, but we do this for ourselves. That's what keeps me going. We do this for ourselves. I pray and hope each and every day that Nnamdi Kanu will come out just like yesterday, because there is a lot of loopholes I have actually noticed that we need to iron out with him. But until then, I hold my peace. So this is where I am going to leave it until we meet again. Shalom. Bye for now. Favor Ogechukwu. I will not be discouraged. We are doing it for ourselves. Thank you for joining us wherever you're joining from. Thank you for joining us. Share the video. Until we meet again, stay encouraged and stay informed. Bye for now.